I start with the recording.
Okay, right.
So, hello, Sonia. It's a pleasure for me to speak with you in Brazil about your electronic voice phenomenon, your ITK instrumental transcommunication with the other side, and you get a great work with these things. And is in the backside of you, is this your current technique?
Yeah, yeah. That is the new setup that came as instructions from the other side. These are two domes, one inside of the other, and around it you can see a disc, a large disc that runs. It turns around, and I have been testing, but more recently.
Sonia, what you mean with disc is your the sphere, about the glass sphere, the dome?
Yeah, let me show you. Wait a second. Here you have a disc that runs.
Ah, okay. Okay, table.
It runs, and it is electrical, so that it can turn around, right? It turn around the domes.
Okay. And
that is a technology that was requested by Scott Milligan's guide. His guide in a trance demonstration gave me the instructions to build this device, this setup, and it has running water, so that the water comes from the top and run down.
Okay.
And it keeps going. So it is with running water, and this disc has to run also. And I have been testing with it already, and I'm getting some interesting results. But it is just at the beginning. I still have to make many.
You get pictures or movies in the dome. You see it on pictures or movies in the dome?
Supposedly that is possibly what this device is for. But it has been appearing images inside the domes and outside.
And outside, okay.
Yes.
At the same time?
Yes, because sometimes I'm using vapor, water vapor,
yes,
as with that humidifier there. So I make a smoke, a cloud of vapor around the domes, so that they can manage either the vapor or inside the domes, and they are doing both.
Okay, and so, you are sitting alone, or have you other people in your session?
No. Usually I do it by my own, and mainly now that nobody can visit anyone. But usually I work by my own, and I'm discovering some ways through which we can make a connection remotely with people. I have been doing experiences of these remote connections, but in audio with voices. And I made it, since last week, I made some recordings, audio recordings, using a person remotely speaking, and I'm recording so that the person can put questions, and the other side will reply those questions.
Okay,
so this is
you're recording with the iPhone, or what is your machine to record?
I use Android cell phone usually.
Okay.
It is easier nowadays to use. The quality is reasonable. So I usually record for images. I use the Android cell phone. But for our voices, I record in the computer.
Okay. You're sitting and you are you have connecting, and you see the pictures and a dome, inside the dome and outside the dome, and then you record it's a voice of you hearing.
No,
at the same time.
these are, no, not yet, at least. Presently, either I record images or I record voices.
Okay.
There is no possibility of this happening at the same time, because possibly these are different groups working from the other side, and also because of the velocity of the audio and the images are different. So whenever I'm recording images, I just record images. I don't record voices. And when I record voices, just voices. No
Okay.
images.
Are scientists by your side to look to these experiments?
In truth, we have some persons, but these would request very specific professions to help us, such as for making voice analysis or image analysis. These require the person to be engineer and deal specifically with sign procession. So it is a very specific area, and unhappily, the only people that are helping me with analysis are some guys from Spain. In Spain, they are associated with some persons, they are engineers, and they are interested in analyzing. Unhappily, in Brazil, we don't have. But it is something that I'm very interested to have all these phenomena analyzed by experts. But
Okay.
it's not easy to find.
I have spoken in the last days with Dr. Gary Schwartz in Arizona University, and have spoken with him about your work. And I think he don't know about your work, or he know a little bit. I think he had said you have no, they have not scientists by your side to look at this work.
Yeah, in truth, it is something different. Sometimes it is useless you to have all the scientific persons and not to have the results. So I have the results. It is, I hope that it will appear persons interested in analyzing, and all my work is opened to anyone who wants to analyze.
Oh, this is very good. I sent Dr. Gary Schwartz an email and said Sonia is open to look to these experiments and to see what is the name of this machine? Transcommunication device?
Yeah, it's just the new setup. But anyway, I think that what we need are persons for analyzing what we have.
Okay.
And I think that a theory is something that doesn't work if you start starting from your own ideas. I think that anyone who has to create a theory, he has to start from the phenomena and then come to conclusions, and not start from his own conclusions and imagine that the phenomena will fit in what you think. And I think that all my life I have been doing that, so that I do what the other side requires. And apparently it is functioning because things happen here, right? So I think that time will come in which engineers will be interested in our work and endorse it.
Okay, I have a friend in Germany. He's also a professor, and he is interested on these works. And I sent him a link about your works, and you can connect it.
Oh, yeah, good. That's
good. Professor Eckhard Grüße.
Okay, good.
Okay, I have here the Konstantin Rowdy is in the last time to spoken with you about the actual situation. Is this right?
Yes, unhappily, yes. I say unhappily because it seems that the point of view of the other side is not very favorable to us.
Okay.
I think that they are watching all the situation with some concern. He shows that, and they say that they are sorry for us. So,
what do you think? The other side have a longer, more information about the future as we have?
oh yes, of course, of course. I have no doubt that in truth there are many experiments, many voices from the last years that mention that when they are talking to us, sometimes they say they are talking to the past. What means that if we are the past for them, it means that they are in our future. And so, yes, of course, they know things previously.
It makes sense, yes. When they are in the future, then you can back. No?
Yeah, they can observe, yes.
Okay. Oh, I understand. And is they allowed to give us current information about what comes in the future, or is it not allowed?
I think that possibly they are not. I mean, they can share our present problems. They can support us with words, with encouragement, but obviously they cannot change what is going to happen. And it would be useless to work negatively. So I think they just are expressing their sorrow for us, as informing that something very difficult is coming, but there is nothing that they can change, unhappily.
Okay, I get a lot of information when the extraterrestrial contact is in the near time stand before. Have you also this information about these things?
I'm following the increase of the virus through Google. Google also made a map which is updated many times per day. And before we talked, I was just looking and saw Germany, and I saw also that in the United States it is quickly spreading, more than I suppose it was expected. So situation is becoming very, very ugly. And I think that this is what they said also from the other side.
Okay. And I hope dies at last. And I hope this situation change mankind in two ways. In one way to change the materialism worldview, and we learn to know about a life after life. There is no death. Is only a change in the world, in the dimensions or in the frequencies, or whatever. What do you think? What is the next step to do more recording of voices, or more get voice and pictures in the same time?
I think that they are working for that, but soon I will return it to images because I think that the images, well, I prefer to work with the images. I think that they are universal, so that anyone from any place in the world can see and perceive, while when you deal with voices, it is absolutely complicated because, for instance, sometimes in the recordings they can reply in Portuguese, which is obviously much easier for me, but also in Spanish or in English. But this becomes limited to the persons who understand that language. So to work with image has wider capacity of reaching people, because anyone can see and from any place of the planet. So I will return to images in my next experiments and not to voices.
Okay. When became you get you emails or telephones or people to come to you and said, oh, my daughter is died, can you connect it to the other side?
Yeah, sometimes persons request me information about a deceased one, and I try to get information or to get the images from this person. But something interesting that is happening is that whenever I record, and I can send you some examples for you to insert if you want in your video. Whenever I'm recording, many images of unknown appear. So I see a boy, I see a girl, I see an old man, but I don't know who they are. So we make, we separate all these images. Sometimes they are some 30 images, 35, 40 images of unknown people. And then we distribute, we share all around the world. And it is impressive the number of persons that send pictures and say, oh, this is my father. Oh, this is my son. And it is impressive how it looks like. So I think this is very interesting, because I don't know that person, I don't know the deceased one, and even so they appear, and obviously very clear, so that they can be recognized. And this may be happening in the vapor. We have incredible images in the vapor recently with the details. It is very, very impressive, because the vapor is something so quick. The vapor never stops. And even so, they can manage and create one image in a very, very short time. So it is a very interesting technology.
Okay. And how long do you get one session? An hour, 2 hours?
No, never. I would die to see all these. Usually each video I record with 3 minutes, more or less, and
Okay.
then I stop, and then I restart again. And I make many short videos, which is easier to see later. And also because I keep changing, for instance, in a moment, let's say, I use the natural light, and then I make a short video, and then I start again, and I turn off the light, and then I change this, change that, and go on changing during the recording, so that I can perceive what is better, what works better for them. If it is the vapor against a black wall, as you see now, but I also tested it with the white in the back. So I go on testing to see what is better for them to transmit things for us.
I think the other side is looking to the people like you to get a possible to get the information out to the people of his side.
Yeah. I think that I think that what they want more presently is to establish the connection and to have it more and more fluent, and mainly to have this authenticated. I think that they are not yet interested in spreading the phenomenon, because presently they are using a very special technology and they are testing. So I think that they want this to be said that is real. This for them is more important than to give information, or because if this is not stated scientifically as a real phenomenon, we won't go very far, because that is a belief, and I don't think that they wanted to work with this as a religion or as a belief. This can be proved mathematically, so that is what they want by now. to have this studied and have this authenticated and analyzed and investigated, so to say this is real. So from now on, let's see what we will do. But I think that for the moment, that's what they need, to authenticate the phenomenon.
Okay, it is very interested. The other side is more interested on to prove this phenomenon about the side of our side.
Yeah, in truth, see one thing, these groups, well, there are many groups contacting Earth, right? The group that is in touch with me, they are mainly scientists. They are not, let's say, religious person that are caring over the poor humans. No, they are scientists. They wanted to improve the communication. Their task is to make this something as a real possibility for mankind. So they are not worried with Sonia or with Johann or with one specific person. They are worried with mankind, and to show that the afterlife is a reality, that the communication is a reality. So they are scientists. They are not saying, oh, poor Sonia, she's going to have a problem. No, this doesn't matter for them. You know, they want to go ahead with their experiments. And that's what I'm trying to support them.
Yeah, and we need a new thinking in the scientists that this is possible, and when we can start is the next evolution technique to this communication with the other side.
Yes, yeah, I think that maybe we are coming on the limit of this necessity. I think that maybe this virus maybe will help in this point. People to once for all to investigate if we live after death or not. I think that that is the point. We are in the limit of this, because I think that there is, well, obviously there are many knowledges very important for mankind, but to discover if we survive after death, I think is something that can change the world.
Yes.
Can change our view of the world. It will increase our responsibility, our personal responsibility, our responsibility with the family, with the old ones, with the animals, with everything. So I think that it is more than time to investigate these phenomena and say, well, is this real? Where these images are coming from? Is that possible that Sonia is creating these? Oh my God, I would like so much to be so expert and create those images in milliseconds. That is, this shows an incredible technology. So this has to be investigated and be said once for all. Well, we don't know where this is coming from, but this is not from here. That would be enough by now. But let's see, maybe we are in this limit. Maybe it comes persons now.
Yeah, I hope we can change your view about these things, and more young people and more scientists start to look to your work and to this ITK and this phenomena, and to create a new side of these things. And
yes.
Have you new pictures and new photos to put it in this video?
Yes, yes. I have some very amazing apparitions in mainly in vapor. I'll send to you for you to insert in the video. And as always, are images that I don't know who they are. And whenever they are identified, we will notice that the picture that the family sends is obviously that person, but it is not in the same position. It is not that photo. What means that nobody has such photo. Nobody. So, for instance, there is one apparition of a man. His name is Johnny, and he appeared in the vapor, And when I saw, because of his mustache, I thought to myself, could this be Johnny? Because I had seen a photo of this guy, and then I sent it to his brother. It's a friend of mine, and then I asked his brother, "Do you think that this is Johnny?" And he said, "Yes, of course." And then he sent me other two images, a little bit different from the one that I had. And yes, obviously it is that person. So I think, for God's sake, how can this be produced? Nobody has such photo, you know. So it is amazing.
Okay, let us give the people a hope to find that person in your pictures at the end of this interview. And Sonia, I thank you so much for this recording and for our interview. And I hope you find a lot of people to get you a lot of money to can much greater investigation in your also my scientists ITK work, and we hope we hear us in the next time.
Yeah, for sure. I thank you for the opportunity of talking to you and to your audience, and till next time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.